With all new technology comes problems. We've found over time with different new model European cars, when you're plugging in the new LED from your trailer that you've just fitted out, it can cause you heaps of problems. Some of the new sort of model cars with older trailers do still stick with the incandescents. With an issue with trying to solve that, it can get costly. Moose mentioned something about load resistors. I think I might get him to help us. Moose.
Yo, load resistors.
Yes.
Right, so the issue is that a lot of modern cars, European cars and Japanese cars now too, they constantly send a signal down to the trailer wires to detect the light condition. So for example, your car is constantly sending a signal down of a small amount of power to see if you still have a globe there. If your globe ever blows, then your car will give you a little warning saying you have blown a globe. Problem is that an incandescent has a much higher amount of resistance than an LED globe or an LED set of lights. So when your car is sending down a signal to LED lights, it's getting a small amount of resistance back, so your car thinks you might have blown a globe, so it becomes a problem. So we need to add resistance to our LED. So we've got a few ways we can do that, and Paul showed these before. These are LED load resistors. They come in packs of 2. You need 1 per circuit. So if you have 5 core cabling, you need 5 of these, on 1 for each circuit. So left indicator, right indicator, brakes, parking lights. Yeah, and that's about it, I suppose.
That's going to get expensive.
It will. You can spend big bucks on this. These are about $25 for a pack, so it will add up. You can buy adapter kits that will do all the transforming for you. They're about $250. They're not cheap either. However, all of that option, Paul, is cheaper than the factory fitted solution, which is sometimes thousands of dollars. So if you have a modern European car and you want to have a trailer with LED lighting, you need to look at the LED load resistance first. Now, some cars are better than others, so you're going to have to look at your manufacturer. If you want any more information on that, just go to our website on www.deckedoutTV.com.au and we'll be able to give you some answers there. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Moose. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to solder and connect the plug to your wiring loom to work your lights. So at Decked Out, we really try hard to show the best way to do things in our opinion. And I've done quite a few, and I find this probably the most maintenance-free way of doing things. When you do strip your cables, it's really good to tin them with a bit of solder. And the other thing is, being salt water, if your boat trailer does get into salt water, when you do to strip the outside of these, the outer sheath, try very hard not to nick the inner core, because water will get in and it will cause you problems, because these trailer cables aren't tinned, so the salt water affects these cables terribly. Now what we do is strip that. There's 5 cores. You undo the rear knob, pull it out like so, and this plug's excellent. It's got all the colours there and it's got the numbers. Now on our website we'll have all the wiring plugs, how to do them, what type, and even what sort of cars suit what. So what we've done is we've looked up the small flat round, small 7-pin flat plug, and basically enter your cable through your saddle, which stops the cable coming out of your plug. You'll find this will happen because the plug gets caught underneath the jockey wheel, and you need to replace them every so often because they're probably one of the things that really gets knocked around. Once you get that cable set up with the saddle, then I'll show you how to strip the cables back. Leave a little bit of slack, but you need to leave about 1 metre coming out of your trailer because you will damage this over time. With choosing your plug, just a handy hint, because they get exposed to a lot of damage with pulling your trailer on and off, what we can do is slide a bit of sleeving over the cable before you fit the plug off. There's a couple of different types. This isn't obviously as robust as the grey, But look, it does the job. And what you can do is once the plug's terminated, this black tape, it's a waterproof resistant, throw a bit of tape around the end as well, which I'll show you a bit later. So we'll put them away and we'll pretend that is a full length. Now what you can do is you can line that up with the saddle, leaving yourself a bit of room, because look, I must admit you will have to replace it at some stage. So you imagine, say, that long, pliers. Now I'm an electrician, so I can strip these cables from practice. If you don't feel confident, you either use a very, very sharp knife and just very gently do a ring around the outer sheath. You don't want to cut the centre conductor because there's not a lot of them. So basically, I imagine if I strip all those ends, that'll give me enough room to terminate. So we've got the different colours, and remember this little white one, that's just a sleeving inside. Get rid of that and we just take them back like so. Now on our website, as I've said, we have all the connections for all the plugs that are needed, and various vehicles that'll be different to what is the norm, as in the Holden and the Fords. The European cars, you really need to watch what you're doing. So you just twist each conductor very gently because they're a solid core. Now I've always done this and it's not a difficult thing to do, but I believe in soldering these ends, because when the trailer goes in the water, the moisture does get in, and these aren't made really to withstand salt water. So you get your little soldering iron, and when your eyes aren't as good as some others, you put that in a clamp, bit of solder, and not too much heat. Just hold that tip like that, run that down the line, and doing this will save the salt water corroding the cables, which then will corrode your terminals. Now they're as best quality as you can get, but they do rust over time, like everything. That's why if you go LED lighting, they're sealed. You don't have as much trouble with water damaging the lights. Phillips head screwdriver, open them all the way through. And then using our decked out wiring loom schedule, this is a flat pin plug, come along to our schedule, 7-pin flat, and you just basically proceed putting left hand to signal, yellow, number 1. Yellow, number 1, you have a bit of solder on the end, in it goes, screwdriver, and just do the yellow up, just so as it's firm. Because if you do them too tight, you'll be throwing the plug away, because again the salt water kills these things. And basically just follow through, red, blue, white, black, brown, green. And on our decked out schedule, it's very clearly written, and that will solve that problem with not understanding which plug to do. And some of the plugs do come with instructions, very handy. So we've just completed connecting the cables to the terminals, and one thing, as I said, your plugs will get damaged, so it's important to have this clamp so the flex doesn't be pulled out of your plug. And we'll do that up like that. And then another thing is, don't forget to put your grommets on. Grommet goes in there, get the lid. Now, one thing, with moisture, if you can get this product, it's fantastic. A couple of dobs, keeps the salt water out. If you don't have any of this down corning silicone, either Vaseline or just give it a quick spray like that. And every so often, pull it apart and give it a quick spray, and just maintenance free. And that clips in there. Got the grommet, lock nut, and there's this sleeving just peels on, or you go the stronger grey conduit, and that should look great coming out of your trailer. All finished. Even spray a bit on there, doesn't hurt. Job's done. Once you've completed wiring your tail lights onto your trailer, now you've got the decision on plugs. There's two types of plugs. Well, there's three really, because there's a smaller plug that is used in other states, but we're in Victoria, we're happy with the two. Me personally, I like the flat. Moose,
Yeah, I like flat too.
flat. Gazza,
I'm a bit more old school, I go the round.
the round. The reasons are choice 50-50. It's how many vehicles you have, how many trailers you have. Me personally, I have multiple flat pin. Moose probably would have flat pin. Gary, all his trailers would be round pin. So that's one of the reasons why you stick to either or. Now, if you do pick up a trailer that has a different plug, there's these adapters, and they're fantastic. And they're very simply explained by flat pin into the socket there. Only one way to go in, like so. They work a treat. Again, the same with the round. Flat pin into your car, round into your trailer. Now, when you're fitting off these plugs, a lot of the time you get the packets and they have the instructions inside, and there are great models that are clear, and if you turn the page around, they actually explain the connections. If that gets a bit difficult, online, or you can check our website, we've got all the wiring looms to suit every vehicle that can be plugged into a trailer, and as you can see, they're very explicit in your connections. So as long as you're not colourblind, you can match the colours up with the numbers, easy.